Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about brain weasels. Welcome to McBain Moments. So before I get started on brain weasels, make sure you go down and click the subscribe button, please. I really appreciate all your support. So let's get talking about these furry little bastards. Brain weasels are the reason that we have doubts. They crawl into our heads. They tell us we're not good enough. They make us doubt ourselves. They say, okay, you want to do this grand thing, but you don't have the conviction to do it. You don't have the skill. You don't have the ability. Who do you think you are? Trying to better yourself like that. Brain weasels. And the thing is that most of the time when we listen to the brain weasels, they turn out to be right. And the reason they turn out to be right is because we're listening to them. Or more accurately, we're listening to them and we're not taking the appropriate action. You need to listen to the brain weasels, but you can't take their advice. They're the worst advice givers in the world. Brain weasels. God, I hate brain weasels. So how do you overcome brain weasels? You listen to them, you hear what they say, and then you take the exact actions necessary to prove them wrong. See, brain weasels can be a very, very useful tool. They get in your head, they tell you what they think that you can't do. They're all your doubts. They're all the little things in there that crawl in, and they cause notions like depression and anxiety, and they're the fear reaction to new things. But what you don't know, what people don't tell you about brain weasels, is they're also the best way for you to organize, okay, these are the things that cause me anxiety. So now I need to explore why they cause me anxiety. Okay, I'm afraid of the water. Why am I afraid of the water? I can't swim very well. Okay, well, why can't you swim very well? Because I never took lessons. Okay, fine, fair enough. So how do you overcome this? Well, maybe I need to swim more. Okay, so you get in the pool. I don't have access to a pool. Is there a lake nearby? So one of my, and I use that very specific case because that is a very specific anxiety that I have. I don't know that I'm technically aquaphobic, but I don't like going into water over my head because I can't swim very well. My 11-year-old can swim better than I can, by like a long shot. But instead, like yesterday, we all went out to the lake and everyone swam, and so I had to muckle down. And I put my anxieties away. And because I can't swim very well, I used a noodle. You know, no shame in using a noodle as a flotation device. And I forced myself to swim in water that I knew was over my head. And there was anxiety involved. The brain weasels were there, crawling around. What happens if you let go? What happens if waves come up? What happens? And there were boats buzzing around, so, you know, the wake from the boat makes waves, and if you're not careful, those waves can end up in your face, especially when you're only floating on a noodle. But what ended up happening as I relaxed there, holding on to my noodle and floating in the water, is I felt the anxiety start to go down. It's like exposure therapy. So as the anxiety started to ebb, I became more comfortable. Now keep in mind, I haven't been swimming in 10 years. Brain weasels. Brain weasels cause that. But the thing that made me tame the brain weasels and put them in harnesses and put them on leashes and make them follow my commands was a saying who, unfortunately, who I'm quoting, I don't remember the name. I'll have to look it up, so I'm going to apologize in advance. They said, if it causes you fear... No, that's not accurate. If it scares you, you should probably be doing it. That's a pretty profound statement and a little counterintuitive. But if it scares you, you should probably be doing it. Because if it scares you, unless it's something catastrophic, like, you know, jumping off of cliffs. Don't jump off cliffs. That's bad. But if something that isn't dangerous, or not severely dangerous enough to cause you actual long-term harm. If it scares you, then that is something that you're telling yourself you're incapable of doing. And when you let one fear stop you from doing something, then other little things could pop up. And your anxiety builds. And it keeps you from doing the things that you want to do. Now, I know we all have these things that cause us anxiety, the things that cause us to fear. Now, me least of all, not the least of which is me. But how you overcome those fears, how you handle them, is important. And so, if something scares you, give it a shot. That's all I got. Make sure you hit subscribe. This has been a McBain moment.